How did you actually end up in supply chain and materials management? Was this always the direction, or did you find somewhere like along the way? And when you look back at the path, I've seen you worked at Siemens, Sanofi, EBM, now General Tire. Was there a moment or a role that really shaped how you think about this work today?
Well, in my career of around 22 years in different companies, there are lots of. There is basically one thing more important than in entire material flow from the start. Actually, I've been associated with most of the manufacturing companies. All of the company which I had worked for is usually manufacturing the some goods, and then they are being further distributed and sold out to the market. For the material management, we can start from the Plan. What is our plan for the production? So, for the plan of production, we have so many challenges like where to source the material from, and what are the market demands, and how we convert those demands to the production planning, and how we can achieve our KPIs for the production, and how we can source the material from different vendors, and how we pre-qualify the vendors, and how we can find the cost-effective solutions in purchasing as well as lean manufacturing, and how we can reduce the overtime, and how we can best provide our output, or best how we can be more productive, you can say. uh, we have a plan, and we are sourcing the material from different vendors, and we have cost effective solutions also regarding the sourcing. Actually, from the sourcing point of view, you have to take into consideration many things, you have to see the quality of the product, as well as cost associated with the product, and their delivery lead times, and how much they can how much quantity they can give you timely for the production process. So you have to take into consideration all these things. And afterwards, if you receive the material in the warehouse, there is the processes related to the receiving of the materials, and you have to be in compliance with the quality of the material, as well as you have to receive the material as per your standard operating procedures, and the housekeeping of the warehouse is also important at that time. And if you have a warehouse management system, you will follow the entire process, like when you are putting the good receipt notes, then you have the barcode labeling, and then you put those barcode labeling to the packs, and afterwards you have a put away process from the RF gun to the different storage bins. So this is the process that relates to the warehouse. And over there in the warehouse, definitely you have to see that what is your unloading time of the material, and what are the storage conditions of the material you have been unloading, where you putting the material according to the temperature control mechanism, or the humidity control mechanism, or the or as per the standards as defined in the SOPs and global standards. So in this way, you just get in the material in the warehouse, and this material is planned for the production from the planning side, and it has been sourced from the procurement department. So now it comes into the warehouse, and in the warehouse you have first you put the material in the quality check, like it is in the quality inspection. And actually, I've been defining you the process as per the SAP standards. SAP is basically the ERP, which is being over the worldwide to manage all the supply chain processes. So you have the good reset node. Now you have put away the material into the respective storage bins. Now the material is in the quality inspection, and when the material is in the quality inspection, it has been tested as per the standards of the quality, and then after the material is being released, it has been issued to the production as per the SOP defined to for the issuance of the material. Uh, well, uh, on the part of the warehouse, you have to see that what is your unloading time for the material, and how much labor you have been utilized over there, and what time you are taking for the put away of the material to the respective bins, and and what is the time you have been picking the materials for issuance to the production. So you have to take into consideration all these things and the lead times, because the overtime hours is been associated with these things, and you have to be more productive in terms of that. And in if you talk about the fully automated warehouse, definitely you have very little workforce over there, and all of the things are being automated, like the ASRS systems, and the automatic replenishment systems, and automatic put away systems. So if you have been implemented all those systems, then you have a little labor over there, and most of the process is being automated, and you can reduce the cost over there for the labor, as well as you can reduce the lead times also, as well as you can make the process more efficient for the issuance to the material, as well as the putting away the material and these sort of things. So this is all
Mhm.
about the warehouse. This is all about the warehouse, and what is the process in the warehouse, and all these things. Now, afterwards, if we go beyond this point, then you have the production process. Now, if you go to the production process, there would be usually a batch-wise production, because I've been associated with the pharma and the FSCG and the manufacturing industry. So they have
Mhm.
the different batches. They have the different batches associated with the production cycle. So over there, you have to see that what materials you have for the batch, what is the bill of materials, what is the recipe, and accordingly you have the production orders and process orders. So you will execute those process orders as per the BOM or bill of materials defined over there, and the recipes defined over there. And
Mhm.
it is very important over here that whatever the material you receive from the warehouse, you have to reduce the spillage, and you have to reduce the you can see the waste of the materials during the production process, because that thing is being associated with the cost. And you have over there in the production, you have labor available over there, and you have to see that how much time required to produce a batch, and how much quantity you are producing. And you must have no you can see the spillage, or like spillage and the wastage of the material. You have to reduce that wastage and spillage of the material, because in the lean manufacturing you have to be more cost effective and productive. So after after the manufacturing of particular batches, definitely, and these batches are being defined in the demand also, and as well as if you say it is the part of the production process and production planning process also.
Mhm.
So over there, lean manufacturing is very important, as well as the housekeeping and the packaging and the material use must be released from the quality control, and the quality assurance is also there to rectify or control on the standard as per the product specifications. So in this way, now if the product is being made as a finished code, or you can say the finished product, then it has been transferred to the warehouse, and once it has been transferred to the warehouse, the material is first in the quarantine area, like the area usually where the quality inspection do the quality check and all these things for the finished product. And after releasing the product from the quality inspection, then it will go to the distribution center. If the distribution center has a warehouse management system, that it would be very much efficiently being managed. Like you can have the RF guns, you have the labels, and you can put the details on the labels and pricing and everything. So you have a put away process over there to the storage bins. You have a complete automated system also over there, or you can say the man-based system also over there to operate the complete warehouse management system. So, but the most important thing is the barcode labeling as well as putting away of the material to the respective storage bins. And over there in the finished goods, definitely you have a different storage conditions for the different materials and different humidity control conditions for the different materials. And you have to maintain the housekeeping, and you have to see that what is your put away time and what is your picking time, and how much orders you have to deliver on daily basis, and how much orders you are executing on hourly basis, and are you putting the right quantity at the right time, or your order execution time, your order accuracy, uh, as well as your completeness of your order to the customer, and as well as the housekeeping in the warehouse, and are you maintaining the SOPs in the warehouse, and what are the SOPs in your warehouse regarding the temperature control conditions, as well as the HSC related, for the HSC related in the way, like the what are the exit points in your warehouse and this sort of thing. What is the firefighting mechanism in the warehouse and this thing. But over there, you have to reduce the lead time for the picking, and you have to reduce the lead time for the loading of the vehicles on the daily basis, and your order execution time must be efficient in a way to being executed in a smallest possible time. So its
Mhm.
delivery can be, yes, so its delivery can be made possible timely. And challenges now, definitely afterwards, once you have the sales order, you have to dispatch it to the customer, and on the daily basis you have to be very timely, because you have to call the transport or your logistic partners on the daily basis. You are calling the transporters, and you have to call the transporters in a timely manner, that the customer order is being dispatched timely to the customers. So, in this entire process, from the start of the good reset nodes, the raw material in the warehouse, and then all the production process, and afterwards you have the finished good, then being dispatched to the distributor. All of these processes, there are a lot of challenges, like, for example, the team management. Like, definitely you have the different people working in all of this process. You have to manage those people, and you have to manage the resources, you have to manage the time, you have to manage the compliance for the quality as well as the NHSC, and yes, so these are the most means important thing that you have to manage in overall the entire process. And
Mhm.
so this is all about the manufacturing industry. But if you talk about on another way, like the trading industry or the distribution industry, they have the different things, like they have been receiving the materials from the different companies of the finished good. They have to maintain and store the material as per the conditions defined by their customers, like the 3PL partners. So
Yeah.
yeah, so they are receiving the material from the different companies, and they have to follow their standards, and they have to follow their housekeeping standard, as well as the HSG standard, as well as their product compliance standards, quality standards, and the storage condition they have to maintain. And they have to maintain the quality of their products in this warehouse, and they have to deliver the products timely and as per the quality compliance to their respective customers on their doors. So over there, but again, the most important thing we usually see in the entire supply chain process is how you manage the resources efficiently, and how you
Mhm.
maintain productivity, and how you can make the more and more production in a given timeline of before, and how you deliver the products timely to the customer, how you're planning the raw materials and the packaging materials, so that you can produce the product on a timely manner. So usually these are the challenges being associated in this entire manufacturing process, from start of the inception, from making the GR until the good issue to the customer. So Stan, if you have any particular questions related to this overall process, then you can
Mm-hmm.
ask. And and if you have any specific questions related to your own company, business, and whatever, you can ask.
Yeah, perfect. I actually do have a couple of questions, but you kind of went on for a bit, and that was really good. That was really good. Yeah, so specifically in industries, if we kind of narrow down to the warehouses specifically, across the different companies that you worked at, what would you say you've seen everyone is doing similarly? So it's like the same across all of them, and what's completely different? Like what would shock someone who would only ever worked in one of those industries, for example, just like you said, like pharma, FMCG, or electronics, manufacturing, they're all different. But yeah, what would you say are the same things that they do in the warehouse, and what's completely different?
No, definitely industry-wise, it would be different. Like if you talk about the pharmaceuticals, they have very stringent quality standards, and because they are the licensed companies, and they have to maintain the quality compliance in a very stringent way. They have because usually, if I talk about the multinationals like the GSK, Abbott, and these sort of companies,
Mhm,
they have to maintain the quality standard as per the standard defined by the WHO. Usually, they have the quality standard they have to maintain. They have to maintain their storage conditions. They have their temperature monitors, and they have to log those all temperature monitors. At the temperature for their products and humidity control of their products. So they have to manage and monitor all these things. So you can say in the pharma industry, they are very stringent. You can say the SOPs and compliance and they have to follow. But
mhm,
if you talk about the electronic industry, they have a very different pattern. I can say they maybe they don't have very stringent housekeeping and these or the temperature control and humidity control conditions as in the pharma. So, but overall, if you are working in the FMCG or a distribution industry or electronics or automotive or pharma and whatever, but overall supply chain process is always the same in every industry. Like you have the warehouse, you have to follow you have the warehouse management system and you have the like the storage bins like the same way you have to maintain the housekeeping as well as you have to manage the workflows as well as the teams and you have the team management, you have the network and everything. So
mhm.
it would all run the same, but definitely on the distribution industry, the process is different. And in the manufacturing industry, the process is different. And in the retail sector, the process is different. So, but overall, the resources management and overall the process from the inception of receiving the goods and their distribution and their storage and everything, it would like almost like the same in all of those
Similar.
industries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or yes, similar, you can say.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Understood. Okay. Yeah, you've mentioned a lot on the processes. Thank you for that. That gave me a very good pictures based on your experience, what you saw. If we talk about SAP, since I know you were present for a couple of implementations, I was curious to see as to across different implementations that you've seen, what's the pattern um, that you've noticed that separates one implementation that will actually land good and people are going to be using it, is going to just be working, to the ones that actually struggle? Like when you walked into the project, and did you see any kind of early signs that tell you, okay, this one is not going to work, or on the other side, okay, this is going to be an easy implementation and everyone is happy, from the management to the people who are actually using the SAP on the floor?
Uh, in my entire professional career, I've been associated to implement the SAP warehouse management system.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for the implementation of this system, definitely you have to train the people and accordingly to the process defined in the SAP. And first of all, you must have the infrastructure available to implement this system. Like you have the access points and you have the bin matrix. You have a very different. You have to maintain or design a different layout of the warehouse according to the WMS bin structure mechanism, and you have to
Mhm.
define that in the SAP also. The most challenging thing is which I have found while implementing this system, that the people are using the inventory module when when there is a transition from the process from the inventory module to warehouse management system. You have to make a concept to the people that what is the storage bin and how you do a picking, what is the barcode, and how you are making the barcode labels, how you put the labels, what is the pallet ID, or what is the license plate, and these sort of things. So you have to train all these things to people, and definitely on the in start you have a lot of challenges for the understanding of the people for these all processes, because
Mhm.
now because if in a conventional system of inventory module, you are just using your laptop to transfer the inventory from one location to another location. It's just like something very different. But once you have RF gun with you, like the RFID guns with you,
RFID, yeah.
then yes, yeah, then you have a very different things to follow. Like you have to scan, you have to use the software in the RFID gun, and you know how to use that system, where to scan. Like in SAP warehouse management system, you have the transfer requirement. First, you make the transfer requirement, then you convert that transfer requirement to the transfer order. So you have to tell them that yes, this is the transfer requirement, and now you are converting this the transfer requirement to the transfer order. That how you select the batches, what you have to see during the conversion, and once you have the transfer order, the picking list, how you scan the barcode of the transfer order, then you have the picking mechanism. You have to pick the pallet from the different storage bins. So you have to tell them all. But one thing what I have noticed, the lead time of picking and put away really you can say is a very drastic change, because
Mhm.
uh, because in the conventional inventory module, usually the warehouse guy is starting to search the pallet all over the warehouse. Like you have the 5,000 pallet capacity of the warehouse, and you're searching all over the warehouse at where the batch you have put that batch, and what is the where you have put that product. Oh, this is something like very time consuming thing. So sometime you have to go to the top on the shelves to see that what the products over there, because you don't know what's over there. So
Mhm.
when we have implemented that warehouse management system, the people just they know that where they have to go. Just they have the picking list, they have the storage bin number. They go directly over there, and they pick up the stocks and just scan the pallet ID. So it will reduce the picking time as well as the put away time. So
Mhm.
these are the things that have been associated
Okay.
during the implementation of the warehouse management system,
Mhm.
uh, and you must have the resources available, and you have to train the people from the scratch. First, you have to tell them that what is a bin
Yeah.
matrix, what is a bin, what is a storage bin, how you make the put away, what is a put away, what is picking, and what are the blocked storage bins, and when so you have to tell all these, you have to tell them the entire process. What is the picking list, how you pick the products as per the picking list, what are the batches over there, how you
Mhm.
see how you can see that you can only pick up the stock which have been released from the quality, which are not blocked or restricted, these sort of things. So
Yeah.
actually in my career, when I've been implementing this warehouse management system, it will take around 3 to 4 months and 6 months to let the people know the processes, the things, because definitely once
Mhm.
you are implementing the process, you have a lot of bugs being coming around, and you have
Yeah.
to see them accordingly, and you have to, and the team will tell you, oh, we are not being picking properly because of this error, and oh, we are getting this stocks of this batch, the system is not following the FIFO system, or just check it. So because FEFO system also have to be followed as per the standard. So and in the warehouse management system, you can also have a opportunity to place the product segregation, like your for the raw materials, different chemicals you have on the one side and another chemical on on the another side. You can also define the storage condition also in the system, and that product is being only stored in that particular area. So,
Hmm.
and you have the definitely once you implement the system, you have to make the SOP also, because the SOP defines the complete process flow from the start of the process and the end of the process. And you be once you implement the warehouse management system, you have a different receipt process, you have a different issuance process, you have so you have to accordingly define these things in the process flows in the SOPs, and you have to train the people according to that those SOPs also.
Hmm.
So this is the thing that I have noticed during the implementation of SAP warehouse management system in the warehouse.
Perfect. That's a really good response. I completely agree with you on a lot of things. And since you raised the question on user adoption, I've personally ran into that many times where people are not really keen to change because they're so used to doing things their own way for a very long time. And based on your experience, who would you say is like the hardest to convince to actually change and do the new way? Is it like the floor, the middle management, or like the leadership team?
The leadership,
Really? Okay.
leadership, leadership is the most important because the people looking at you, they are looking at you
Mm-hmm.
because they are looking at you because they know you are driving the system. Once you are driving the complete process, then the people in the people inside you, they, or you can say the under you, they are just keep looking at you that how this person guides us, how this person guides us in a way that
Mm-hmm.
we can understand the process.
I
So
see.
it's all about the leadership, because how leadership defines you, that how you manage the people in a way to be more productive.
Nice.
So it's all depends upon the leader, that how he leads the complete process, how he trains his people, and how he maintain the environment, how he makes the hierarchies, and all these things are being with the leader. Leadership is, I think, the most important and very important to the organization also, because
Mhm.
the entire organization or the entire area depends upon how the leader drives the whole way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. No, that's really good on the leadership, especially. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of times that completely agree with you that people look out to the higher ups, that they need to provide a proper plan to teach the middle management, the actual floor operators, and they seem to have a very bad connection between each other where they can't really communicate really well. So the communication becomes a big issue there. And then at the end of the day, the new system is there, but people on the floor, they're not using it because they just don't see any benefit to it, you know? So,
Yes. But
yeah.
but but the most important thing is always about the leadership, because
Hmm.
the middle management is also looking to the leader, that how he leads his people in a way to achieve the company objective.
Hmm.
So if you are a warehouse manager, if you're a supply chain manager or a production manager, the team all around you is being guided and driven by you. So you have to be very much efficient in a way to see how you can make the process more efficient and lean process, this sort of thing. So it all
Hmm.
depends on the detail. I think the most important thing, if you talk about the warehouse, is the leadership. Leadership is
I
the
see.
most important. Yeah, because there is a difference between the manager and the leader also.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So you have to be a leader in order to run the warehouse, not a manager.
Hmm. Okay, that's perfect. And while we're talking about the management across all the industries, is there like, if in the leadership or with somebody else, have you seen any kind of persistent problem that always showed up consistently? people acknowledges, everyone acknowledges it, but nobody really solve it. It just keeps on happening, and people just kind of let it be. I just The reason why I mentioned on the leadership, just because I personally noticed a lot of times that the middle management, the operators would you know basically show the facts, show the issues to the leadership, and because the leadership doesn't feel that pain as much, they just kind of let it be and just work along with the same problem. They never solve it. What did you notice any of those kind of issues?
Actually, the point you are referring is basically a leadership failure. The point you are referring is basically a leadership failure because what I mentioned before, that you have to be a leader, not a manager, to run a warehouse. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the leader does, he goes to every person, where it would be operator or the assistant manager or the loader or the picker or whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
has to go. He has to go to every person to see that what is his or her problems and how he can rectify those problems. This is the part of the job of the leader, to the listen to the people and rectify their issues. If he is unable or she is unable to do these things, then definitely there is a point that there is a complete process failure, and you are getting the deviations and the mistakes and human errors and a lot of things, because
Mm-hmm.
the team is keep asking you the things and you are not responding. Then definitely the team always do those things which they seem teams fit, like they if they see that this is right to do, they will do it, because no one there to guide them that what to do. So the point you referred is basically a leadership failure. I think that person, he cannot be able to manage the part of the of his job or the area, and
Mm-hmm.
and in the near future that area will become collapsed, and there are a lot of conflicts inside, and you have a poor customer service problems, and these sort of things being initiated automatically, and then the top management will really see these things and feel those things, and afterwards you know that
Yeah.
you have to replace the leader then. There is
Yeah,
no
I've seen
solution.
that many times. That's why I mentioned that it's quite a common thing, but it only happens after, yes, as you mentioned, that it's been going on for quite some times. There's already a lot of friction between the people, and then only then the higher management is able to notice it when there's actually a lot, like it's already too late, if you know what I mean. And now there's a lot of things that need to happen. So just like, yeah, changing some of the leadership as well. Okay, cool. That's it's very insightful. So in the leadership part as well, I guess if we're talking about it, and a little bit of on the SAP, what did you notice, like the biggest issue that you specifically noticed, like that you were trying to fix for years? Not like with leadership, obviously, but we already talked a little bit about that. But like a problem that you still haven't fully fixed, that you just never really understood how to fix it. Was there anything like that that was major, that from one position to another, you just keep on noticing the same issue, and it's not that you specifically haven't figured out how to fix?
Actually, what I noticed that as a leader, the conflict management is always a challenge
Mm-hmm.
between the people.
Just
The one
communication.
person, yes, the conflict management means that the one person is not, you can say, being like the person is not being able to manage himself to coordinate with other people's, or for example, sometimes the person, for example, if I say the person is very he wants the overtime every time.
Mm-hmm.
So to get the overtime, he always makes some conflicts inside, and these sort of things. So conflict management definitely in the leadership. You have a fighting people inside your team. They would always be a problem for you. The one is being fighting to another for some of his own objectives, So they are not looking to the organization. They are looking themselves that where they are and where they have to be, and the other person is just going upward and upward, and I'm going just downward and downward. So
Mhm.
conflict management is a big challenge in because in order to manage the people, they you have to manage the conflicts also between them.
Mhm.
So sometimes it is very much difficult, you can say, to manage the conflict between the people. And if you're able to manage it, then sometime it reoccurs again, and then you have to tackle it accordingly.
Fair
So
enough.
I'm saying,
I
yeah,
agree with
yeah,
that. Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's a great answer. Agree with a lot of things that you just said. Now, if we imagine that we want to have a dream operation, you're just starting fresh, new project, materials and warehouse setup. Let's say in a manufacturing environment, since you're very familiar with it, and you get to set it up any way you want with unlimited budget. That is just there. What would that look like, and which things would be non-negotiable for you?
Uh, Actually, first of all, you have to see that what is the project, what are
Let's
the requirements of.
in manufacturing, so just like you were saying, with you have materials, you're receiving materials, then it goes into production, then it's a finished product, then you have to ship it out, and it's project that you can build fresh. You're given all the money available. What would be the things that you would 100% not skip? Like, what's non-negotiable? Having like an ERP system, WMS, maybe specific features in the software, if we're talking about software, maybe something else.
Actually, once you have a budget, then you have a limit, and under that limit, you have to manage all the resources. Like, for example, you have to maintain a warehouse. Uh, then you have to see that what MHEs do you need, and where are you sourcing those MHEs, and what are the different companies offering the MHEs. So over there is all about the procurement, negotiations with the vendors to get the most less price, but not compromise on the quality. And for the production process, definitely there are the standards to follow that are not negotiable. If you talk about the FMCG and pharma industry, then you have to be comply the quality standards as well as the safety policies. So looking on those things, you have to procure the machinery and equipment for the production. And on the warehouse part, yes, if you are, for example, if you are installing the racks in the warehouse, you have to see that what different vendors are offering, and it would be like the certified companies should be over there offering the best prices, and these all of these things. And afterwards, the most important thing uh, to to look on is that are you being do you want to automate the system, or it will be run by the manpower. So
Hmm.
you have to make the feasibilities for this, that like if you are completely automate the system from the good reset process, then the issuance, then the production, and afterwards in the finished good warehouse, what would be the cost and what are the resources associated with it, are those things that are being in line with your budget or not. So you have to look on it. But on the other side, if you are hiring the manpower, that what would be the cost of that, or what would be the cost of that manpower to be hired in the production facility and the warehouse. And so in this way, making the different feasibilities, you can be able to manage whatever the budget being given by the management to complete the entire project. The most important thing over here is the cost as well as the quality, and the vendors you are being sourcing the materials. You should have to be very much attentive on that. Then
Mm-hmm.
how that what are the vendors in the market? Like if we talk about the RFID guns, then there are a lot of vendors available in the market, and the software is running inside. For example, the company is not being able to implement the SAP due to the unlimited budget. Then you have to go
Yeah.
for some other ERP to implement on that organization. But it would be compliant with the systems and procedures from the start of the processes to the end of the process. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, the quality, yes, it should be considered, and the cost and the sourcing you have been you're doing from the different vendors, and definitely there are other things also like the warranty of the products you have been sourcing the machines and these sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the basic.
Okay. That's pretty good. So I got a couple of interesting food for thought there from those answers. Interesting. Okay, just a couple of more questions, and we're pretty much done. It's been very interesting for me. You have a lot of good experiences. It's really interesting to hear from somebody of that much experience in specifically in manufacturing and everything that you had. So now, if could you give an advice to a peer of yours in the same position who is stuck, like for example, let's say their warehouse is a mess, their materials management is broken, and they just don't know where to start? What would you tell them based on your experience that you've gained over the years of your professional work?
On the part of the warehouse is if something like you just told me, if this is the problem,
Mhm.
then the person actually the most important thing in the warehouse is the inventory, because the inventory bears the cost. So
Mhm.
first of all, the warehouse is a complete mess. So he has to make the segregation of the products, because all of these things are being intermixed, and they have to segregate it differently on as a different materials, and uh, sort them accordingly. Uh, uh, he has to follow the 5S. He has to sort the material, then he has to label the material accordingly, and he has to put the material in an organized way, and
Mhm.
there should be there should be a recognition of the material. For example, if a layman comes to the warehouse, then if he sees the material, then he quickly identified it that this is the that chemical, this is that chemical, and this is the dangerous goods, and this is the no, non-dangerous goods, and this is the temperature control product, and this is that chemical, this is that chemical. So he can be able to recognize. So the product segregation is important, the product labeling is important, and the housekeeping of the warehouse, that is also important.
Mhm.
So he has to first follow the 5S to reorganize or re-engineer the warehouse as per the standards, industry GWP standards.
Perfect. That's really good. Yeah, completely agree with you on that. Okay. Now, last question is kind of like a bigger one. Um,
Okay.
if you were to take yourself back to early in your career, before there was automation, ERP systems, before barcode scanners were a standard, before any kind of digitization that happened and you've been part of, what did you actually think about automation back then compared to now? Like, has anything changed, and how did you think about it before all of these things kind of came into the market?
If you don't have the automation like the one we have at the moment,
Hmm.
we cannot be able to manage the large volumes, because go before the time we don't have those volumes. Now definitely we have those volumes. For example,
Hmm.
20 to 30 years back, the company is manufacturing only for example the 1,000 units, but now that specific industry is producing the 10,000 units.
Yeah.
So in order to manage this big volume, you must have an automation in the system. And the most important thing is also you have the limited resources, and accordingly you have to manage on those limited resources. So this automation and the systems will allow you to make the system more efficient, and you can work within your resources and within your defined resources. So
Mhm.
this is the basically different. And yes, there is an accuracy. This overall process accuracy increases once you have an automation. In a non-automated environment, all the things are being managed by the humans, and there is always a possibility of human error over there, and there's a lots of possibilities of the human error. But if you have a program system, then there is a very less error chances over there, and the overall process is usually compliant. So
Mhm.
yes, there is a different, but again, now you have to manage the large volumes. Before you don't have those volumes, and now you have to be more accurate. Now you have a very more challenging environment, and now you have a very limited resources. Before that, you have the lots of resources. So these are the things. These are the differences. But
Mhm.
but definitely, like the SAP systems and the Oracle ERPs, they usually change a lot in terms of quality, and you can say they reduce the errors, the reduction in the errors, and make the process more efficient, more compliant. And now the quality of the product, yes, also increases because of these things.
Mhm.
So in a very limited resources, how to manage it is also been defined by the automated systems and new technologies.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, that was awesome. That was really very good breakdown. Appreciate that. So this was great. I got all the questions that I had. Thank you for answering them. I really appreciate your input. Um, that cross industry view is not something a lot of people in our network have. So thank you for coming along. Before I let you go, is there anything maybe I didn't get to that you think is worth saying? Maybe something you wanted to share, with your peers, maybe supply chain, materials management, anything at all?
Actually, what I would like to what I would like to say that currently we have a very challenging environment. You know, again, I come to the point that if you have a if the industry have a efficient supply chain systems, then there would be an growth industry wide. So there there are the lot of impact for the efficient supply chain in the entire system, because uh, everything is associated with the cost, and if you have to manage the cost efficiently, you must have a very efficient supply chain systems. So this is I would do, because the current environment is very challenging, because you know in order to you have to manage the import lead times, and somewhat the currency fluctuations, and somewhat the economy is very much challenging. The area you have been working there, the economy is challenging, the interest rates and these sort of things. So the external environment is very much challenging at the moment, and this is also impacting the supply chain also, because you have to resource the material according to the quality and the cost. This is challenging, and how you manage the people, this is also very much challenging, and you have to be compliant with the industry standards, and you have to follow the regulatory standards also. So all these things are being very much challenging. So and in the future we have more challenges. We will have more challenges, because
Mhm.
again the resources are being depleting, and you have to work in a limited resource. And if you have to work in limited resource, you must have a very efficient supply chain system,
Mhm.
because the product bears the gross margin, the product bears the profit, and you have to maximize that gross margin in order to survive in the industry. And in order to maintain that gross margin, you have to control on the cost of product, and that cost of product on the back end is being linked with the supply chain or overall supply chain process.
Mm-hmm.
So, so this is what I want to say. And for my peers, I also would like to say that always see for the new challenges and how to rectify those challenges, new ideas and new things. So always keep on thinking on that. They must have to.
Mm-hmm. That's very great. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Appreciate your time and honesty.